Yo, what's up? It's Tropics back at it again with my weekly power rankings. This will be week 6. As you can see on, did I get it right this time? Yeah, this side. That was my week 5 power rankings. Lots changing, a lot of movement, especially in that middle area from like 10 to 20. But yeah, it was a good week 5 of football. A lot of upsets. Not really a lot of upsets, but there was some upsets. But yeah, if you want to hit me up at any of my socials, those are right there. Let me move my hands. My Instagram, Twitch. You can come stop by the streams. That's my gaming YouTube channel, my Twitter, and my Discord. If you add me on Discord, I can add you to my server. But yeah, let me get this out of here. Sorry. Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to my 32 and 31. As you can see, I still have Jacksonville at last place. They're 0-5. There's a lot of stuff going on within Jacksonville's team. Urban Meyer, a little finger banger. He also didn't jump on the plane to go home with the team, I believe, 2 weeks ago. That's not good when you're trying to look good for your players and shit. So, I don't know. Jaguars, they played decent against the Titans, but they didn't, produce very much. They started to get blown out towards the end of the game. Which, yeah, it was 37-19, but they kept it decently close. I believe it was 30-19 for a good minute there. But Trevor Lawrence, he's looking better. Not great, but better. That's a good sign to see. James Robinson's still doing his thing. Marvin Jones was very quiet in that game. Chenault did decent, I believe. Chark is injured. Other than that, receiving-wise, they're kind of shit. So, yeah. I do think they'll get their first win this week against the Dolphins in London. They always play good in London. So, yeah. But moving on to 31, we have the Jets. Zach Wilson looked good last week against the Titans. Didn't look so great this week against the Falcons, which is a little weird. I thought he would do very good against the Falcons, but he just didn't. Zach Wilson looks like the worst rookie quarterback so far, besides David Mills, but he played pretty good too. Running wise, we've already talked about it. It's kind of non-existent. Michael Carter's getting the load. Nothing crazy. Corey Davis doing good, but other than that, receiving core kind of iffy. Defensively, they're bottom tier. They're good for a bottom tier team defensively, but they're not the best defensive team. So yeah, but I think 31 and 32 are good spots for Jacksonville and New York. I believe New York dropped, 3 spots. I had them up because they beat, the Tennessee Titans, so you have to put them up a little bit. But yeah, so we're gonna move on to 30 and 29 right now. All right, so at my 30 spot, I have the Houston Texans moving up a spot. They lost to the Patriots, but they actually gave them a pretty good fight. They actually kind of should have won that game. I believe they were up a pretty decent amount going into halftime. I didn't really watch the game. Not really a fan of either team. Why would I want to watch that game? But I did click through it a couple times, and I did see that Houston was leading most of that game, which was pissing me off for bet reasons. But at one point, the Patriots kind of took over and shut that up. But I believe they're better than the Jets and the Jaguars. They are 1-4, I believe. They won a game, right? I believe they won a game. So yeah, they move up a spot. But then let's see statistic-wise on the Houston Texans. Davis Mills is playing all right. I think I called him David a minute ago. My bad. He's playing all right. Not great, but late round quarterback in the draft. Nothing much you can expect there. You're supposed to have Tyrod Taylor pretty much the whole season. He might be coming back soon. Running game wise, Mark Ingram is actually the one that's getting most of the carries, which I find really weird. If I were them, I'd probably give most of the carries to probably Phillip Lindsay, because he was good on the Broncos. He was really good. But I don't know. Maybe they have something that they know that I don't. Probably do. Receiving wise, Brandon Cooks still popping off. He had a slow game, but then they I think this Chris Moore guy got signed to the practice squad, I believe, and then got brought up the same week and then played this week and kind of went off. 5 receptions for 109. I believe that was all this past weekend, but I could be wrong about that. But otherwise, defensively, they look decent against the Patriots, but Patriots offense isn't very good. The Texans defense isn't great, so nothing special there. But the Texans move up, and the Lions also move up one spot. Lions they're 0-5, I know, but they keep it close with like very good teams. They made it a 2 points. They lost by 2 points to the Ravens. They barely lost to who the hell did they play again? Oh my god, I forgot. I know they kept it close though, and they lost last second again. I believe it was the Vikings, right? Yeah, I think it was the Vikings. But I feel like they have a chance to win a couple games this season. They're not going to stay 0-5. They keep games close all the time. At some point, they're going to have to win. Jared Goff's playing decent. Nothing great there. Running-wise, Jamal Williams is getting most of the carries. But DeAndre Swift's getting more of the reception is out of the backfield, but they're both doing good running the game. Like, their running game is good. I actually really like their running game. Receiving wise, TJ Hawkinson's still that leading receiver, but other than him, nobody really there. So I think I believe 29 is a good spot for them. If you have any problems with that, let me know in the comments, but we're going to move on to the next. Alright, so I have the Miami Dolphins moving down 2 spots. They were eventually going to have to move down from that 26th spot. But yeah, they just don't look good. They look actually horrible in my opinion. My controller just fell. There's really nothing much to say about them. I thought their defense was pretty good. They looked really bad, honestly, against the Buccaneers. And Tom Brady threw for 5 TDs on them. It didn't look good. It didn't look good for the Dolphins. I expected them to lose that game, but not as bad as they did. But yeah, there's really nothing much to say about our Dolphins. I think they deserve to be where they're at. Running game, kind of crap. Receiving game is honestly decent. You got Devontae Parker, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Preston Williams. So this is a pretty decent receiving core. But they have a lot of talent. They're just not winning games. It's kind of annoying and weird. And I think they're going to lose again. So, yeah. But at the 27 spots, I have the New York Giants staying even. Only because the Dolphins had to move back. But the Giants, they lost a lot of key players in that game against Dallas. Daniel Jones goes out with a concussion, a scary concussion. I hope it's only a concussion. He was wobbling all up and down the field after that. Saquon goes out with another leg injury. Thank God it's only a sprain. But yeah, they're injured all over the place. I believe Galladay's also out, his best receiver. But Kadarius Toney kind of came out of nowhere. He looks really good. He kind of reminds me of a Marquise Brown, Antonio Brown mix, kind of. It's kind of weird because I believe those are cousins. Whatever. Daniel Jones was playing very good until he got injured. They were honestly keeping that game close with Dallas before Daniel Jones and Saquon went out. But, they got blown out eventually. So, yeah, I think they're properly placed. But we're going to move on to the next couple teams right now. All right, so at 26, I got the Atlanta Falcons going to London and beat the Jets. At first, honestly, I thought the Falcons were going to win that game, but then when they announced that Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage weren't going to be there, I was kind of skeptical. I honestly thought the Jets were going to beat them because the Jets defensively are good with the run, but they're bad in the air. And Kyle Pitts exposed that. Cordell Patterson exposed that. But the Falcons did their thing. They came out with the win. It's honestly a tough win because they didn't really have their star guys out there. So the Falcons look like they're kind of kicking it back in. Defensively, they looked a lot better against the Jets, but, it's the Jets. Can't really say much about that. Matt Ryan's been playing good. Honestly, really good for the team that's built around him, honestly. Mike Davis and Cordell Patterson are a good backfield, especially since Patterson's such a great receiver. You never know what scheme they're going to run, what kind of RPO they might run, draw plays. The Falcons are kind of interesting with Cordell Patterson. He's definitely a wild card there. Calvin Ridley wasn't there. Kyle Pitts had a hell of a game, his breakout game finally. But yeah, I think they're properly placed at the moment. They're kind of the low tier 2 and 3 team. But we'll see how it progresses throughout the season. I think that defense is going to hold them back, though. Offensively, I think they'll get better, especially since Kyle Pitts is doing his thing. But moving down, we have the New England Patriots. They moved down 3 spots. They won the game, but they didn't look good during the game. They kept it close against the Buccaneers 2 weeks ago. Then they come and play the Texans and almost lose against them. Damian Harris was dealing with an injury all game, I remember. I don't know what it was. I think it was a chest injury. Mac Jones wasn't playing like Mac Jones that we saw against Tampa Bay. I don't know. It was interesting. Maybe he took that loss to Tom Brady a little to the heart, you know. But receiving wise, Jacoby Myers doing his thing. Hunter Henry looked good. I remember he had a couple catches that were really nice. I wish they would get Nelson Aguilar more involved. He was really good on the Raiders, I believe, last season, and they should definitely get him more involved. But yeah, I believe they should fall a little bit. They didn't look very good. They're another low 2 and 3, or low tier 2 and 3 team. But yeah, I think they're properly placed. So we'll move on to the next 2 teams, which would be 24 and 23. All right, so this might look weird. It usually does. Colts are moving down 5 spots to 24 this week. They lose to the Ravens. They moved so far down because they did lose to the Ravens, but they kept it close. They kept that game really close. I thought they were actually going to win it. They should have won it. There was plenty of opportunities to win that game, but honestly, they should have only moved down like 2 spots. But there was a couple teams that needed to move up, so that's why they moved down so far. But yeah, coming off a very, very tough loss, that's going to hit them hard. They should have won that game. They controlled that entire game leading into the 4th quarter. And then Lamar Jackson just put the Ravens on his back and carried them to victory. So, yeah, the Colts are a tough one. That was a tough loss for them. Carson Wentz was actually playing pretty damn good, in my opinion. Jonathan Taylor looked great. They had him in the receiving game right off the rip. He had a really long time. I think it was like a 75-yard touchdown right off the rip. But yeah, Nyheim Hines kind of not as involved. I see them trying to involve Marlon Mack more, which they should. Marlon Mack used to be really good a couple of years ago, and I don't know. I think he requested a trade, I believe, or to be released. I can't remember. So maybe Marlon Mack will get a new home because he deserves one, honestly. Receiving wise, Michael Pittman's still doing good. I think that was actually a really good pickup in last year's draft for Indianapolis. That's going to turn out to be a top receiver in the NFL at some point. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Mike Evans, just a little skinnier. Just my personal take. But yeah, at 23, I have the Eagles moving up 2 spots. Jalen Hurts looks like the real deal. Honestly, they shouldn't have won that game, but their defense honestly kept them in it, and Sam Darnold throwing 3 picks also kept them in it. Yeah, they look good. I like Jalen Hurts. He looks very interesting. He looks a lot like Russell Wilson. Like his game looks very similar. Obviously, his arm talent isn't Russell Wilson's arm talent. No, Russell Wilson's arm talent is pretty insane. That deep ball of his, jeez. It's like makes me wanna. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, Jalen Hurts playing out of his mind. Yeah, he's a leading rusher on the team. I feel like the Eagles need to get more in tune with their running attack besides just having Jalen Hurts always running out. Miles Sanders is still there. Kenneth Gainwell is pretty nice, but yeah, Miles Sanders isn't getting many touches at all. Receiving wise, Devonta Smith looked like he's looking like a great draft pick as well. But yeah, defensively, they're on and off. Darius Slay is looking like he's coming back into his normal self as well on that defense. Fletcher Cox still is getting those double teams. Yeah. So I think they're placed in the right spot. So we'll move on to the next 2 teams right now. All right. So I have the football team falling 2 spots this week. Tough loss to the Saints. I don't know. The Saints defense kind of kept them in tune. Their offense has been firing, though. You can't say that it's not. Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson look great. Taylor Heineke. Trying to get that in tune with my head. It's weird. Because I think of Heineken like the beer. Yeah, whatever. Never had it either. But yeah, they lose to the Saints, kind of get blown out. I believe they lost by 11 points, 33-22, and they're placed at 22. Defensively, they don't look good. They don't look like the defense they were supposed to be coming into the season. I was hoping they would. Chase Young is basically non-existent. I don't know where he was like one of the big talks last year, one of the biggest rookies coming out of that class, and he hasn't really been performing. The defense in general hasn't been performing, especially the pass rush that was supposed to be there. So I don't know what to say about them. Statistically speaking, quarterback play is iffy, not great. Heineke's doing decent. Antonio Gibson's been playing out of his mind the last couple days, or weeks. Terry McLaurin is one of the best receivers in the NFL, and he needs to be known to everybody that he is. That boy can fucking play some football, that's for sure. But yeah, offense is good, not great. Defense is honestly bad at the moment, so I don't know what else to say about them. But Pittsburgh is going to move up a couple spots, 3 in fact, this week after winning they were at home, but they beat Denver. Ben Roethlisberger looked better, not great still. I'm not falling for Ben is back type shit. He didn't look great. That run game kind of kept him in the game because it opened up opportunities for the play action, and that opened up opportunities for Chase Claypool, who had a hell of a game. Deontay Johnson also had a very big touchdown catch, I believe. So offensively, they looked a lot better. Defensively, they held the Broncos to, I believe, 19 points, if I'm not mistaken. They look like a good all-around team. They just need a new quarterback. I'm going to be totally honest. The Steelers, like Mike Tomlin, it's over. Your buddy in crime that you've had forever, yeah, he's done so. And people, he's had 4 bad games, and then he has 1 good game, and they're like, oh shit, maybe Ben is good still. No, he's not. But we'll move on to the next 2 teams right now. So I have the Vikings moving up 3 spots this week to 20. They didn't play very great against Detroit, but I still have trust in them. They are, I believe, a 2-3 team at the moment. They are a 2-3 team, and they're one of the best 2-3 teams. Their offense is great. All around. Once they get, even when Dalvin Cook is injured, Alexander Madison is one hell of a backup running back. That boy can run, and they're so in tune with running the ball more. But I feel like they need to use that passing game to their advantage. The Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and that Osborne guy. There's too many weapons, and you have Conklin, I believe, too, as well. But yeah, offensively they need to do more, even though they have a great offense. Defensively, they've been looking a lot better than I expected. I wasn't expecting that defense to look very good this season. They have been. I think they're properly placed right now. If they get another win, which I hope they do against the Panthers this week, then they'll probably move up some more. But as you can see, Denver drops a little bit this week. I believe 3 spots. Yep. And that is because they lose to the Steelers, who, going into the game, didn't look like they had a chance against the Broncos, for the mere fact that the Broncos were 3-1, and the Broncos just didn't show up. Teddy Bridgewater, he didn't get any reps, obviously, because of that concussion last week, so he comes in kind of not knowing what the game plan was all week. Maybe they should have kept him in tune, so maybe I'm wrong about that. He's still doing good. Teddy Bridgewater's still good. Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams still doing their thing running the ball. Courtland Sutton, they need to get him going. He's doing great. Don't get me wrong. 377 yards isn't anything to joke about. But it's kind of hard to get him going when your other receivers, Tim Patrick, Noah Fant kind of did good. I don't think he did, actually. I don't remember. I wasn't really watching this game because it was just a defensive battle. But yeah, Courtland Sutton's definitely taking a lot of the defense with him when he goes down the field. He's their biggest target. They're usually going to go to him. So they need to spread the ball more, around more. But yeah, I think they're properly placed right now. I think they'll get better. I think they're going to go into... I don't remember. Oh, they are here. They are in Denver this week. and they should beat the Raiders, especially with what's going on with the Raiders. We'll move on to the next couple teams right now. All right, at number 18, I have the Carolina Panthers dropping down 3 spots. They also did what the Broncos did, and that was lose again to a team they should have beat, which was the Philadelphia Eagles. Their defense looked good for the most part. It started kind of looking bad towards the end of the game because they gave up that last touchdown, which they shouldn't have. But that's not really on them. That's honestly on the offense and mostly Sam Darnold for throwing 3 interceptions and having their defense out there so much. They were probably out of breath. They had no energy. They were just out there a lot. The time of possession was definitely in the Philadelphia Eagles' favor in that game. So yeah, that's mostly the reason why they lost that game, was Sam Darnold's play was just not good. But yeah, hopefully they get Christian McCaffrey back. That'll help them a ton. Kind of hoping they don't get him back this week so that the Vikings can beat him and I can win some money, But if he comes back, it's not a guaranteed win that they'll beat the Vikings, but it's definitely going to help. It's going to give them more of a chance. But besides that, DJ Moore has been having a hell of a season so far. 440 yards on 35 receptions. That's pretty freaking good. That's about 13 yards a reception. But yeah, I believe they're properly placed. I've said properly placed like 10 times already, haven't I? Whatever. The defense still playing good. They'll probably play good against the Vikings if they just run the damn ball all the fucking time. But if they decide to throw it, they might have some problems, even though Patrick Peterson is there. That'll probably leave Adam Thielen open a lot. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. And then at 17, I have the Chicago Bears moving up 4 spots. They did their thing. You know what I'm saying? Justin Fields looks all right. He's not really passing the ball that much. Running wise, he looks good. I don't know what to think of him yet. It's kind of hard, to judge him off of a couple of games. Probably have to see another game. His completion percentage is not very good. But their offense is working though. So David Montgomery being out was kind of a big hit. They still dealt with it and used Damian Williams in that run game, and he did pretty damn good. Allen Robinson has been selling out this season. I expected him to come in and be a top receiver in the league. He's just not at all. Darnell Mooney looks good though. Almost 100 yards more than Allen Robinson. That's crazy. But other than him, receiving wise, it's kind of iffy. But the Bears are kind of being held up by their defense, and that's going to be a big test this week against Green Bay's insane offense. So they're probably not going to be 3-2 for very much longer. This weekend will probably test them very much. So we'll see what happens. But I think 17 is a good spot, so we'll move on to 16 and 15 right now. All right, so at 16 this week, I have the Raiders falling 3 spots. They take another hard loss, and they took a lot more than just that loss. John Gruden is officially not their head coach no more. I believe the special teams coach will be their interim head coach for the time being. Raiders took a big hit. They also lose, and now they're going into Denver to have a rivalry game. So they're kind of not looking too hot. There's not really much to say. Derek Carr's still been playing good. Touchdown to interception ratio could be better. But running the ball, Josh Jacobs was basically not a factor. Receiving wise, Darren Waller was kind of non-existent either until later in that game. But Raiders just all around. I mean, they're a good team still, don't get me wrong. They just have a lot of problems going on right now, so I just don't see them winning. That just doesn't go good for a franchise when you lose your head coach in the middle of the season. It's not even the middle, it's the beginning of the season, so that's even worse. They'll probably drop even further, but for the time being, I believe they should be at the spot they are. We'll move on to 15, which is the San Francisco 49ers, dropping a spot this week. They lose to the Cardinals, but they kept the game close. Offensively, they didn't look very great, but defensively, they are holding down a very explosive offense to a low amount of points. So yeah, defense looked good. Offense didn't look so great. Jimmy Garoppolo should be coming back this week, I think. I don't know if I'm right about that, but even with Jimmy G, they're still just not. Honestly, in my opinion, they're not a good team. They're good, but they're not great. The run game is all over the place. You never know who the hell's going to run the ball for them. Receiving wise, Deebo Samuel's having a hell of a year. Deebo Samuel could be a serious threat. He looks like one of the best receivers in the league, so we'll see how that goes. I believe he's second in yardage right now. So yeah, I believe that's behind. I forgot who's number one. Whatever. But yeah, defense looks better. Offense doesn't. So I think 15 is a good spot. So we'll move on to 14 and 13 right now. Okay, so at 14, I have my boys, the Seattle Seahawks, dropping 3 spots to 14. As we all know, Russell Wilson tore some ligaments in his middle finger on his throwing hand, so he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, I believe. That is a tremendous hit to the Seahawks. As we all know, Russell Wilson, not even being biased, is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. There's no debate about that. So to lose a superstar like that is extremely huge. Thank God we have Geno Smith as a backup. He's honestly, nobody's really heard his name unless you're a Seahawks fan in a while. Yeah, he played good. He came in right after Russ went out, drove 97 yards down the field, scored a touchdown to DK. Other than that, I don't know. Seahawks defensively don't look great. They definitely need to work on that. I honestly think Ken Norton needs to get the hell out of there, and we need to get a new defensive coordinator. Offensively, was still very explosive, even with Geno Smith. He has younger legs than Russell Wilson. Not much younger, but prime legs. This is like the prime years of Geno Smith. So you're going to see a lot of running from him. You're also going to see a lot of running in the backfield with Chris Carson and Alex Collins. But he can definitely throw the ball, and he definitely looked like he was targeting DK Metcalf a lot. I think that's honestly really good. Tyler Lockett's that deep ball threat and that outlet pass. DK Metcalf is that win the game type of receiver. So we'll see how it goes. I hope they beat the Steelers this week. They should. They might not. It depends on how Geno Smith plays. If he comes into this game the way he entered the game against the Rams on Thursday night, I think he'll be fine. I hope they don't flex that Sunday night game to another night or Sunday in the afternoon. That would kind of suck, but they might just because Russ isn't there. But hopefully they keep it there. But yeah, statistically speaking, don't really need to talk about Russ. He was doing great before he went out. Damn, it's tough. Running game, Alex Collins is a good, honestly, second-hand running back to Chris Carson when Chris Carson was out. Chris Carson's coming back, so hopefully he does his thing. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, one of the deadliest dual-threat wide receiving core in the National Football League. They're both over 380 on both 25 receptions, so that's honestly pretty good. DK Metcalf has been targeted a couple times more, but yeah, if Geno Smith targets DK Metcalf a lot, I'll be happy as a fantasy owner and a Seahawks fan. I just love watching DK Metcalf. He is a man amongst men, if that makes sense. I don't think that's how you say it. Whatever. But yeah, at 13, I have the Cincinnati Bengals getting another win. They actually lost to the. My bad. Sorry about that. They lost to the Green Bay Packers, but they should have won. They should have lost, and they should have won. Then they should have lost, and they should have won. Then if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. Missed field goals for days. That game could have gone either way with the amount of field goals that were missed. I thought Mason Crosby was going to miss again. Thank God he hit. But yeah, Joe Burrow looks good. He has thrown a couple picks though, 6 of them. In fact, that's a little tough. He's still coming into a year where he's not even completely healthy off that leg injury of last year. So we'll see what happens with that. Joe Mixon, he played a little bit of snaps. He was still injured from the previous game. So yeah, he'll probably kick it back up. He's still one of the leading rushers in the National Football League, and he basically missed an entire game. So, but yeah. Receiving wise, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. That is a deadly triple threat receiving core. Jamar Chase looks insane. I think he's on pace to break Justin Jefferson's rookie record last year. So that'll probably happen, especially since there's another game this season. But yeah, that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase connection looks great. Bengals are legit now. Defensively, they need a little bit of work, but other than that, they look good. So we'll move on to the next couple teams right now. All right, so I have the New Orleans Saints and the Tennessee Titans moving up 5 and 7 spots. This might surprise a couple people. I don't think it should, honestly. A lot of teams had to move down, especially like the Broncos, Raiders, 49ers, Seahawks. Like there was a lot of teams that had to move down. So who was going to fill that void up top? The teams that looked very good in Week 5, and that was the Saints beating Washington by 11 and Tennessee beating Jacksonville by 18, I believe. So yeah, Saints looked good. Alvin Kamara looked good. Jameis Winston threw a Hail Mary halftime pass that actually connected. Crazy shit. Jameis Winston played pretty good. I don't know what I'm getting out of Jameis Winston sometimes. He is so unorthodox. Like he's like it's like a mind game. I don't know. He's interesting, to say the least. Saints defense played pretty damn good. Kept Washington 22 points, and their offense did the rest. So let's look at statistics. I don't even know. Jameis is still under 1,000 yards passing. He has 12 touchdown passes, though, to 3 picks. That's pretty crazy, in my opinion. Yeah, Alvin Kamara was doing his thing, running the ball. Taysom Hill, I believe, had a concussion. Yeah. But Jameis has 12 touchdowns to receivers named Deontay Harris, Marquez Callaway, and that's pretty much it. Trotman, I don't know how to say his name. Kamara, obviously, but he hasn't really been as crazy in the passing game this season as he usually is. But I feel like this team will be a lot better when Michael Thomas gets back. I don't know when he's supposed to get back. He's been, like, nobody talks about him anymore. He kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth. But yeah, I think they're good spot at 12. 11, we have the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they kicked some ass in Jacksonville. Derrick Henry is 640 yards rushing through 5 games. He's on pace for like 2,100 yards or something again. This motherfucker, God, he's so ridiculous. But it's not even because he's ridiculous. I mean, he only averages 4.5 yards per carry, but he's at 142 attempts. That is some serious workload that they're giving him. McNichols is a good receiving back. See, they need to fix that with Tennessee's offense. Every time McNichols comes into the game, you know it's a passing play. They need to involve both running backs in the running game and the passing game so that it confuses the defense on what they're doing. I just found that interesting. Every time he came in, it was literally a passing play. He's only had 7 attempts this season on the ground. Receiving wise, Julio Jones, I believe he played. I don't know if he did very much, but he must have did a little bit. I didn't really watch this game, by the way. AJ Brown, I believe, was still injured, I want to say. But yeah, Tennessee moves up to 11. They'll probably move down. It wouldn't surprise me. Same with the Saints. Just some teams had to fall, and they took their place. So yeah, we'll move on to the top 10 teams in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. All right, so I have the Kansas City Chiefs falling 2 spots this week to 10. Another loss. Projected, in my opinion. Or not in my opinion, it was my opinion. I projected that the Bills would kill the Chiefs, and that's exactly what they did. They beat them by 18 points. Chiefs defense is non-existent. It's just not there. And the Chiefs want to contend for a Super Bowl. They need their offense to perform against great defenses, because that's just how it works. You just need to have a good offense to contend against good defenses, and you need a defense to contend against good offenses. And Chiefs offense didn't look as explosive as usual. Patrick Mahomes, I believe, threw 2 picks and fumbled once. He wasn't looking good. And Buffalo's defense was they just did their thing. And obviously their offense ran all over the Chiefs' defense. If the Chiefs don't figure out what the hell to do with their defense, they could be a bottom tier team this season, even with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. That is just straight facts. And yeah, I believe they'll beat Washington this week, but it honestly wouldn't surprise me if Washington beat them. Washington has a good offense, and if they do anything close to what the Bills did to their defense, to the Chiefs' defense, it could be a really close game, and it could come down to Washington with the last possession, and they could lose that game. It wouldn't surprise me, but they should win the game. I'm hoping they do. I still like the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is cool and shit. But yeah, statistically speaking, Patrick Mahomes, he's throwing 16 touchdowns. That's a crazy statistic. But he has thrown 6 picks. He doesn't look like the Patrick Mahomes I'm used to. 1,500 yards. I feel like it's more on the play calling, because they're doing the same play calling they've been doing for the past couple years, which is just basically winging it. Just have Tyreek run a fucking post into the corner, have Travis Kelce go into the middle and catch it on the first down line, and then have the other receivers do whatever the hell they're doing, either go on deep routes or just not even be a part of the play. Clyde Edwards-Helaire going out is honestly a big hit to them, because it was basically their only their running game. I mean, Darrell Williams is a good runner, but he's more of a receiving back, and I don't know. Tyreek Hill's having a big year. Travis Kelce's doing his thing, a little slower than usual. But other than that, I don't know. Chiefs look like they could fall off, but we'll move on to the Browns at number 9. They're going to fall a little bit this week. Even though they put up a damn good fight against the Chargers, they got to drop, because some teams have to move up. Yeah, they played they played great. They just couldn't do it at the end. I really like the Browns. I think they're going to be a contender in the AFC at the end of the year. Them, the Chargers, the Bills, and probably the Ravens are probably the AFC contenders, just from what I've seen so far. Baker Mayfield played a lot better this week. But yeah, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt look like an absolute unit in that backfield. God, it's so fun to watch them run the ball. Yeah, but Baker was throwing the ball around the field. And it was basically Baker get it down the field, and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt do the rest. And it was working. And then Njoku had a good game. Their defense was playing horribly, which was not what I was expecting to see. I thought that was going to be a defensive game. I thought it was going to be like a 20-23 game. But yeah, there's no shame in losing to a team like the Chargers, who honestly look like one of the best teams in the AFC. In my opinion, the third best team in the AFC, maybe second. But yeah, nothing really wrong with the Browns. They're just going to drop because people have to move up. So we'll move on to the next teams. All right, so I have the Dallas Cowboys moving up 2 spots. They are deeper into the top 10 now. Yeah, they look like a contender in the NFC. They look like they figured it out, as I've said before. That pass game is crazy, and if you want to try and stop the pass, they have a great run game as well. So they have dual threats on both sides of the ball. Trevon Diggs is killing it. He has given up a lot of yardage to receivers, but he's always ball hawking. I mean, when that ball's in there, it's pretty scary. You think Trevon Diggs is going to intercept it, and I don't know. I think the Cowboys are an actual legit contender in the NFC. I just need to see a little bit more to start pushing them in that top 5 range. But yeah, Dak Prescott's having a hell of a year. Comeback player of the year for sure. Possibly even an MVP. Yeah, Ezekiel Elliott's playing good. Tony Pollard's Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott are kind of like Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Very similar. But yeah. CeeDee Lamb's kind of been slow recently. Amari Cooper as well. It's kind of because they've been running the ball a lot more. So the pass game has kind of been going more towards like tight ends and stuff. But at some point, there's going to be a team that's going to try to stop that run, and they're going to be successful at it, and then they're just going to air that ball out. And CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are going to be down the field waiting for it. So yeah, I think the Dallas at 8 is a good spot, and I also think a good spot is the Chargers at 7, who, yeah, they look legit. They look better than most of the teams Phillip Rivers was guiding to the playoffs before. Yeah, Justin Herbert is the fucking truth, man. He looks like a generational talent. Honestly, reminds me of Peyton Manning with some legs. This boy can run too. He's my MVP right now. He's like my second. Okay, my MVP race right now is Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Herbert. Those 4 are all in it, in my opinion. You could throw Dak in there as well. But yeah, Justin Herbert's playing out of his damn mind. This is his second year, and he looks ridiculous. Austin Eckler, why did I say that? Eckler's playing out of his damn mind. He looks a lot better running the ball, but he's also still good at receiving the ball. Mike Williams popped off again. Keenan Allen's still doing his thing. That is a dangerous receiving core when you have two wide receiver ones on the field at the same time. You never know which one's going to get the ball, and they're both great. Mike Williams is kind of that throw the ball up and hope he catches it, and it's more of like a 75% chance that he does because he's just massive. Keenan Allen is that toe tap swag. Is that what they call it? I don't know. Toe drag swag. Toe tap swag? I'm on one today. He's more of that route runner receiver. Mike Williams is kind of just like go down the field and throw it up to me and I'm going to catch it type of guy. Defensively, they didn't look good against the Browns, but I think they'll pick it up. The Ravens and Chargers game this week will be a very fun game to watch. Those are one of my top two teams in the AFC, or two of the top like three teams in the AFC in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll move on to the next teams. Okay, so moving up a spot this week will be the Baltimore Ravens, who had one of the most impressive comebacks I've seen in a while. That was a beautiful comeback. Lamar Jackson was absolutely perfect in that fourth and third quarter. Later third quarter into the fourth quarter, absolutely perfect, even in the overtime. To see Lamar Jackson throw for 400 and I believe 45 yards is just wild to me. That's something that Tom Brady does, like throw for over 400 yards, but he does it like every once in a while. Like that doesn't happen a lot, and especially seeing Lamar Jackson do it is just weird to me because when you think of Lamar Jackson, you think of running the ball and short passes, but Lamar can throw the ball now, like legit. He's a top like arm talent in the league, which is weird, and it looks so effortless. Jesus, he has a very like swift motion, and it gets down the field in a hurry. It's very fun to watch. He's still their leading rusher. Tyson Williams, Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell. That's a good for running backs to figure out which can. I mean, they can all run the damn ball. We all know that. Marquise Brown is having a hell of a year. That's really good to see. Mark Andrews had a hell of a game, and Marquise Brown had a hell of a game too. But Mark Andrews, I believe, had 2 touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, and like 130 yards receiving, 140 yards receiving. That's crazy numbers from a tight end. So yeah, I think the Ravens are legit. Their defense was kind of iffy for the first 3 quarters of the game, but then the fourth quarter they locked everybody down. They got that blocked field goal from Calais Campbell, and then from then on they looked great. So I think they're a top 6 team. They could move into the top 5 definitely soon. We'll see what happens. But at number 5, Green Bay's going to drop a spot even though they won. I just feel like the top 4 teams are kind of set in stone at the moment. Yeah, Green Bay's still a top 5 team, no doubt about it. Aaron Rodgers still playing like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Jones still playing like Aaron Jones. Devontae Adams had a hell of a game, by the way. Thank God I had him on fantasy. He's going to be gone. I traded him for a couple of players. We'll keep that on the low. In one of my leagues. In the other league, he's definitely staying because I have him, DK. Okay. Here, I'll read this is my 12-team league fantasy team. Or 12-team league fantasy league. I'm going to read you guys my team. Hold up. It's kind of ridiculous. This is in a 12-team league. I've said that. All right. So, got Kyler Murray at quarterback, Darrell Henderson, Joe Mixon at running back, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf as my 3 receivers, Jared Cook at tight end. Kind of could do better there. I'm trying to figure out a trade to get there. And yeah, my bench looks like Miles Sanders, Darnell Mooney, David Montgomery, who's on IR, Kadarius Toney, yep, Tyler Conklin, and yeah, like, that was a ridiculous team for a 12-team league. But yeah, Devontae Adams popped off. I believe he had over 180 yards receiving and 1 touchdown. I don't remember, whatever. But yeah, he's definitely the best receiver in the league. It's clear as hell. 42 receptions, 579 receiving. I believe he's number 1 in receiving yards. Could be wrong about that. But yeah, Packers top 5 team. We'll move on to the next, the top 4. All right, at the 4th spot, I have the Los Angeles Rams moving down 1 spot. They're only moving down because obviously Arizona has to move up. Yeah, they're still one of the best teams in the league. There's no question about it. Offensively, they're a superpower. Defensively, they need some work, honestly. Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald cannot carry that load. If Aaron Donald's getting triple teamed, you need 3 other players to get to that quarterback, and you should have plenty of time. And I don't know. Their defense was kind of iffy to me, especially watching that Thursday night game. I thought their offense would do a lot better against the Seahawks' weak defense. They didn't, but they're still doing their thing. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, both of them doing their thing. Van Jefferson is a good third option, and Deshaun Jackson. It's a very speedy and interesting receiving core, but it works. Darrell Henderson's been doing good on the ground. Sony Michel is a good second-hand running back to them. Matthew Stafford's been playing at an MVP level. I don't think he's in my top 5 MVP conversation at the moment. That also moves me to Arizona, who are at 3, going up 2 spots. 5-0 team, the only undefeated team. They should be number 1, but I don't think they are the best team in the league. Yeah, Kyler Murray's playing at an MVP level. You can't lie about it. I don't think he's in my top 5 right now. Yeah, I don't know. Kyler Murray's good and all. I can't put him there yet. It's a little weird to me. Running the ball wise, Chase Edmonds and James Conner are doing their thing. James Conner only averages 3 yards per carry. Chase Edmonds averages almost 6. I feel like they should give the ball to Chase Edmonds more, because James Conner has the majority of the carries. And I don't know, that's just weird. Hopkins kind of popped off. He came back from that injury, so he's still coming back in from that. But their receiving core is ridiculous. D-Hop, Christian Kirk, Rondell Moore, and A.J. Green. That's an insane wide receiving core. But yeah, defensively, they look very good. I was quite surprised that the defense looks very good. Chandler Jones kind of disappeared after that first game where he dropped 5 sacks. I don't know where the hell he went. He disappeared. J.J. Watt's been doing all right. He doesn't really get to the quarterback like he used to. But yeah, I think Arizona 5-0 should be in the top 3, just because, record-wise, I don't know if they're actually gonna finish like that, but no, they probably won't. But we'll move on to my opinion on the top 2 teams, and you guys will probably already know who they are. So we'll not even do a transition on this one. We're gonna have the Buccaneers and the Bills. They're just gonna stay where they are. Buccaneers get another big win. They killed the Dolphins. Bills killed the Chiefs. Would I be more confident in picking the team that beat the Dolphins or the Bills? That's kind of what made me decide number 1. The Bills, in my opinion, are the best team in the league. They just are absolutely ridiculous offensively and defensively. They're kind of unstoppable. I don't see an offense in the league that's going to be able to put enough points up against their insane defense while the Buffalo offense is popping off as much as it is. I just don't see it. Even the Buccaneers. I mean, you put the Bills up against the Buccaneers, put the Bills wide receivers out there against that weak secondary, and the Bills are probably going to win that game offensively. Tom Brady offensively and the offense of the Bucs would probably do good against the Bills, but I don't think it would be enough. This would be a hell of a Super Bowl matchup, by the way. I honestly don't see it happening. I see the Bills making the Super Bowl possibly. NFC-wise, I don't see the Buccaneers making it. I don't know. I have my own opinions. I don't think the Buccaneers are going to make the Super Bowl. Tom Brady might be donezo, hopefully. But yeah, other than that, we'll decide to end the video right now. Alright, so yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to get notified when I upload new videos. If you want to hit me up on my socials, they're all right there. Instagram is probably the best way to get to me. Twitter as well. Also Discord. If you want to stop by the stream, I probably will be streaming after I drop this video, hopefully. But yeah, I hope you guys have a nice week 6 of the NFL season. A nice night, day, whatever it is for you. And deuces.